Welcome to the Earth System Predictability Forum, which is kicking off on Monday, 8th of May until Wednesday, 10th of May, where we will be covering 9 action-packed sessions exploring the use of Earth observation data from space and artificial intelligence to help make better decisions on how we manage our planet. I'm James Parr, CEO of Trillium Technologies, and I'm delighted and thrilled that you can join. We really appreciate you taking the time to help make an impact where we believe it really matters, leveraging EO, Earth observation, and AI, which are crucial technologies in enabling a sustainable and equitable future for all. However, there's much work to be done, and the potential is yet to be well understood by decision makers. One of the ambitions of the forum is to change this. I thought it would be useful to give you some high-level background on what to expect throughout 3 days, as well as a rationale for this important work. We're very grateful to everyone who's been involved up to this point, and special thanks to our sponsors at the ESA Lab, who have believed in the vision and have been instrumental in making this happen, and our friends at Oxford, who help us play with the best of the best. So how can AI advance planetary stewardship? The goal of the forum is to identify opportunities for innovation along the journey from Earth observation to AI-enabled decisions for improved planetary stewardship, and produce 9 visions, 1 vision for each of the sessions we'll engage in. One of the advantages of a virtual conference is we can do actual work, and by joining, you are becoming authors of a shared vision. And I'll explain more on this later. The core concept is we now have all of the technology we need to be radically better at decision making. But of course, there are lots of gremlins along the journey, and by understanding some of those gotchas and challenges, we can start to effectively democratize capabilities for all. Our stewardship of the planet is failing. The zeitgeist currently calls it the climate crisis, but this is too one-dimensional. Let's call it what it really is. It's a habitability crisis. We need to have better management systems for understanding how we can sustain and keep these systems healthy and reverse the degradation of the planet, as we have seen accelerate over the past half century. Everybody who's thinking about this knows that it's more than just climate, and that's why we are exploring how to better predict all Earth systems using Earth observation and AI. Being faced with these genuine issues of habitability requires urgent attention. We can see from space that many of Earth's systems are now under severe stresses, such as equitable climate mitigation, biodiversity and habitat loss, pollution, water and drought, food security, and of course resilience. But the key thing which ties these all together is AI-enhanced decisions. And you could argue that decision-making is our most underutilized resource, which is a lovely phrase coined by our Day 3 host, Lorianne Pratt. It's about putting AI at the heart of sustainability. I really like this quote from our friend and colleague, John Elkington, who summarized this very well. Our aim is to make AI as usefully central to the sustainability agenda for business and finance as it is to the word itself. I wanted to kick things off by showing an example of Earth system predictability in practice. What you're looking at is the ability of an AI system to outperform a supercomputer. This team applied physics-informed machine learning to build an efficient digital twin of Earth's coasts, speeding up flood predictions by building a machine learning surrogate model for an established inundation height model. This was achieved by using Fourier neural operators, FNOs, a neural network that can approximate solutions to partial differential equations. This is 1 to 3 orders of magnitude faster than traditional partial differential equation solvers. Historically, this was a massive computational task requiring lots of compute nodes and something which isn't realistic to democratize for individuals and beneficiaries around the world. But with AI, not only are we able to do this with a smaller amount of compute requirement, but also do it a lot faster, orders of magnitude faster. As a result, this work, we were able to predict sea surface height either in real time or 60 minutes into the future for the first time ever, 1,000 times faster than traditional supercomputer modeling. What's also amazing is this can happen on the cloud. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you could use this coastal twin mechanism to get your own tidal surge prediction. These kinds of outcomes are why we believe that Earth system predictability is becoming now possible for all. We know that AI can create deep fake content that looks virtually photorealistic. However, what you're looking at here is a physics-informed coastal flood visualization. This is an example of physics-informed learning, where the flood model is actually baked into the AI pipeline. And so is this genuine satellite image from the future. How this is credible? Well, we're able to compare the generated prediction to the real flood, and they're virtually identical, as you can see here. This is just another predictive result that we've seen come out of the work that we do during our FTL program, and it gives us a taste of the bold capabilities that the next era in Earth system predictive capabilities will provide, genuine, useful, and powerful tools for the community. So we want to learn how to do this faster. As mentioned before, with traditional supercomputing, there are some physical limits. The more grid resolution you have, the bigger you have to scale the prediction, which is why we hit a power limit. This is usually about 3 to 5 days in advance, which is why our weather forecasts are generally pretty good for 3 days, but not so good for 10. This is one of the limitations of numerical forecasting. Our hypothesis is that AI can really help us blast through these power limits and do things faster and at greater scale than ever before. The next thing is trust. What you're seeing here is an image created from Midjourney, a diffusion model which is able to create photorealistic images based on the prompt given, and then in this case, astronauts sitting beside the fire on the moon. The AI itself doesn't know it's not possible to have a fire on the moon or be able to take your helmet off to drink the cup of cocoa. The crucial point of this image is that AI can make beautiful imagery with a high degree of plausibility, but it doesn't understand the physics behind it. But what if you could integrate this knowledge into predictive systems so they deliver a high degree of trust? Lastly, accessibility. This image is of disaster responders using paper maps to tackle a wildfire. In the era of AI, it seems very dated, and we believe that there is a huge opportunity for improving these sorts of use cases by making these tools far more accessible for disaster responders and others. So taking these 3 items into account, speed and scale, projections and trust, these are the core areas we want to explore throughout the forum. And we're very happy you're joining us to try and tackle these particular issues and see if we can flip them to positive visions for the future, research, initiatives and partnerships. The way the forum is going to work is we're going to spread these discussions over 3 days with 3 sessions per day. Each day has a particular theme. The first one is training and simulation. The second day is integrating knowledge, and the third day is decision intelligence. There will be 9 sessions throughout the forum. Each is going to have a slightly different flavor. So the first session is going to be about speed and scale, the second about projections and looking into the future, and the third is about trust and insight. To bring this to life, we're inviting special guests from 3 different constituencies, from the civil society, organizations, space and EO, and AI experts to give us some provocations so we can jump into these discussions and really try to get much better understanding both the scientific problem definition side, but also the application utility in the world side. These are just samples of the sum of amazing people that are joining us. We're super excited, very grateful for everybody sharing their time to help elucidate these important discussions. Each day is hosted by a day host, and we'll focus, as well as a focus area host and provocateur, who can really set the scene and help us understand the context and give us some food for thought before we dive into the subjects. The day 1 session is focused on how the Earth observation assets can support more effective scenario modeling. Jonathan Bamba, a remote sensing professor with expertise in the cryosphere, will kick us off with a provocation during the session, and each session will have a provocation to get the discussion going. We're going to look at how physics-informed ML in the next session can support planetary stewardship during session 2. In session 3, we're looking at taking data, uncertainty, and simulations, and what predictions we can trust and why. Moving to the day 2 session, we're going to be looking at how large bodies of knowledge derived from space research can be encoded, enriched, and continually updated. And in session 2, understanding vital context and experience and giving AI common sense. And then during the last session on day 2, we'll investigate how we can monitor and correct the decisions we make, adjusting for imperfect dynamic information. During our final day, we have 3 more exciting topics. Session 1 is oriented around how we integrate human knowledge data and machine learning simulation to real-time measurements. Day 3, session 2, we ask, how do we use decision models and assets to support collaboration across domains between humans and AI to recommend best actions? In our final session of day 3, we will cover discussions around how we can monitor and correct the decisions we make, adjusting for imperfect dynamic information. We're also going to have some amazing provocations and inspiration from leading practitioners and experts. So if all goes to plan, we'll have some exciting and lively discussions throughout the forum. This is a 3-day all virtual event. After 3 years of COVID, virtual events have lost their gloss, but it's important to get that balance of bringing together brilliant minds from all across the globe and playing our part in carbon reduction. And we're great believers in virtual conferencing. Now there are so many benefits and platforms to make it so much more than just a Zoom call. And we can integrate all of the outcomes into our large language model, Astra. This does require people committing to the full experience, cameras on and being fully caffeinated. And we really invite you to roll up your sleeves and start collaborating asynchronously and dive deep into the discussion themes, which you can see in the colored boxes here. During the forum, you'll have the ability to move between tables during the sessions. Each table will have a slightly different discussion, and we want you to feel that the context sparks interest and is aligned to your area of expertise. And we invite you to take a seat and join the conversation of your choice. We're confident you'll have a relaxed and enjoyable experience using this platform. The amazing thing about the era we're in with large language models is that everything can be recorded and summarized. To do this, we need to adhere to GDPR, although if you would prefer to opt out, we can provide that capability for you as well. But certainly for the people who opt in, we're going to be recording all of the outputs of the discussions and putting them into the Astra, which is our tuned LLM. This will then provide summaries and a knowledge graph of the work, so we have a nice collated outcome, which we'll bundle up into this book, which is taking the question of how AI can advance planetary stewardship and what will be the outcome of our efforts together. Everybody who contributes to the forum will be listed as an author in this publication. So we really want to get the discussion going. If you'd like to start getting into this early, it's completely possible already. We have all of the themes already in LinkedIn. So you can jump in and start putting your thoughts in or adding links or anything relevant that gets the conversation going. If you haven't applied yet, please do, and you can apply through our website on trillium.tech. And lastly, just to say, we're very grateful for everybody who's making the time to work with us, and I'm personally very excited for what we'll learn together. And so with that, I'll say thank you and looking forward to seeing you on the 8th, 9th, and 10th. Thank you.